Hey everybody, welcome back to Echo Base Network. Today's breaking news, there's an apparent leak about the upcoming Rey movie. Many people don't think that the Rey movie is even going to get made because Disney Star Wars is absolutely falling apart. But just in case it does go through, the report says that Rey's new Star Wars movie will confront Palpatine's last legacy. But not just his legacy. Let's look at this article and see what they're saying. They're actually talking about bringing back Emperor Palpatine to address, oh my gosh, the Jedi's failure. Spoiler, this is going to make the Jedi look bad again. Star Wars will move beyond the Skywalker saga with Rey's new Jedi Order, but it still may have to address some of the issues of the franchise's past, particularly Palpatine's final legacy. Now, an interesting point there is that some people are saying that is actually going to be considered Episode 10. They can't call it Episode 10 if they're moving past the Skywalker saga, can they? Episode 7, 8, and 9 shouldn't be Skywalker saga anyways. It had nothing to do with Skywalkers, because after all, that wasn't Luke Skywalker. Not to me. New Jedi Order is set to move further into the future of the Star Wars timeline than any other Star Wars movie has gone before, starting about 15 years after Star Wars: The Rise of Palpatine. While it's an exciting push into the future of the franchise, no, it's not. New Jedi Order also seems to examine the history of Star Wars stories that came before. How could one movie do so much? You're moving us 15 years ahead. There's so much new going on, but we're going to really look and see what happened in the past. There aren't many confirmed story details about New Jedi Order yet, but there have been some clues as to what's the next chapter of Rey's story and what it will concern. After the Rise of Skywalker's reveal that Rey's father was Palpatine's clone, still so dumb, she'll likely need to address her relationship to the Sith Lord and Emperor. Though he suffered his second and final death in the Rise of Skywalker, most of us only die once. Palpatine's relationship to Rey may be the biggest problem he poses to New Jedi Order, and his final legacy could be even harder to solve. His legacy was to destroy Darth Vader's sacrifice. That's what his legacy was. When Palpatine rose to power and established the First Galactic Empire, he made a few strategic moves to both ruin the Jedi Order's reputation and help the galaxy forget about them. Now, this is where we're getting into it. This is going to be the whole, let's continue to make the Jedi look incompetent, bad, whatever. And that's what the Acolyte is doing right now. We're going to see that more tonight, where they make Soul look like a bad guy. He began a large-scale propaganda campaign that painted the Jedi as terrorists, and he claimed that Mace Windu and the other Jedi in Star Wars Revenge of the Sith attempted to assassinate him. Wait a minute. So Palpatine had a propaganda campaign to make the Jedi appear to be bad, and it's propaganda, so it's not real. It's not true. They're actually the good guys. Too bad Disney doesn't recognize that, because Disney has done everything that they can to paint the Jedi as being the bad guys. Ironic, isn't it? Rey's new Jedi Order movie will confront that unpopularity head on, the whole thing about the Jedi. Based on the propaganda Palpatine spread after Order 66, Rey could easily face quite a bit of opposition to her goal of restoring the Jedi Order. Even though Palpatine had been exposed as a Sith Lord and the Empire was largely seen as the atrocity it was, many people likely only learned about the Jedi through his propaganda. Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy hinted that Rey will have to prove the Jedi are worth restoring in New Jedi Order, especially after the death and destruction of the Skywalker saga. Here's the quote. The question that we're going to ask with New Jedi Order and with Rey is, does the galaxy need them anymore? Do they want them back? So there's a lot of food for thought in what we're doing, whether it's in the past, present, or future. And that's exactly what Disney Star Wars has done. They've taken the good that George Lucas created, they've broken it down and destroyed it, and now they get to rebuild it into the image that they want. Led by Rey. Eric Kane of Forbes released this article last week, one that I definitely agree with. The Acolyte continues a long, tragic Star Wars tradition, ruining the Jedi. Could not agree more. These people do not know how to tell stories. at all. Let's just destroy what was built before. That will be our story. Good and evil, no longer clearly defined. The Jedi are good, the Sith are evil, Luke Skywalker's good, Darth Vader's evil, Anakin Skywalker's good, he turns to evil. But in Disney Star Wars, everything is gray. There is no good, there is no bad, there is no right, there is no wrong. Everything is in the middle. There is no duality anymore. There is no polarization anymore. Good and evil doesn't exist in their world. And of course, that moves completely away from one of the inspirations of Star Wars, Joseph Campbell's A Hero with a Thousand Faces, good and evil being clearly defined, the hero's journey, all of that has been rendered moot by Disney Star Wars. And that is why you fail. Well, it's one reason they fail among many. Are you pumped for the Rey Skywalker Palpatine movie being led by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy? Let me know in the comments. We are UR Echo Base Network. See you on the next one.